Mr. Shannon?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
We're back.
I'm here.
We're back in, okay, thank you. We're back in session, and, we're gonna proceed. Just 1 second.
I don't know what to say, though, just better.
Yes, we're out. We're out.
Okay, Mr. Herb, we're gonna let you, go ahead and take over.
Okay, just to review, in the open session of the Newton County Commission Report, the 3 items on the agenda today deal with the detention center. The primary objective of this meeting is to get our arms around a potential transaction that would result in the county and the Public Facility Corporation taking complete ownership of the detention center project, freeing clear of the $9.6 million in bonds that are left outstanding in their supervising trust facility. The first item that John just to keep it in line with the is receive report from trustee regarding the status of the facility and power facility, and the Newton County Correctional Facility repairs, and insurance resolution for damage to the facility. I've been in contact with the trustee on this project for some time now, working on behalf of the Newton County Public Facility Corporation Board, scheduled later this afternoon, about the status of that facility and the unfortunate event that occurred probably over a year ago now that resulted in some vandalism and criminal activity where some crooks went to the facility and stole a significant amount of copper wiring and copper tubing. The trustee notified the insurance carrier as did he, and long to make short is the insurance company has agreed to settle that insurance claim and to pay the trustee $1.5 million in total for the release of that claim. And that release and settlement agreement has been fully negotiated, but is subject to two things. One, it has to be approved by a court in Minnesota. Number two, it has to be approved by the majority bondholders, and notice sent out to all bondholders in order to effectuate that. As a result of that settlement of that claim, we began some negotiations to address what that means. And part of the discussion was, do you put money back in the facility? What do you do with it? And the resulting conversations were that I think the consensus between the trustee, majority bondholders, the county, and Public Facility Board is that if the county acquired the project by getting the bond, the $9.6 million bond release, for a nominal consideration that the county might consider the payment of $100,000 as a nominal consideration to, in essence, get the bond released, and then let the county deal with the project going forward, acquiring the facility. And if that is conditioned, and just a simple value of the real estate out there would justify that, and notwithstanding the fact that you have, in essence, 100,000 plus square foot of commercial building out there. I'm here to report on behalf of the trustee that there is, assuming that Commissioners would approve it. And the Public Utility Board this afternoon at 11 approved it for the bond to go away, for the county to pay the $100,000 and to end up with free titles to that entire city, and that's where it's commissioned. So that is sort of report under item number 1. Under item number 2, is to discuss and consider and take action to obtain a release of a deed trust securing the bond and liens on the facility. The form of the lien release was provided to the commissioners, authorized the transfer to the premises to clear bond debt and lien, and authorized council participation in a trust construction proceeding to obtain court approval and release the liens and canceling the revenue bond obligation. So the end result is that Commissioners, you have 2 documents in front of you that are party agreement. The primary document that is, and probably Judge, and I think the shortest and easiest way to view this is we just read it out loud. Or do you
Yeah, I think.
it really kind of gives you a full story, and just a general release document.
Yeah.
The lien document is the document filed as a deed record. It's not as important, but let me just, for purposes of the, well, let's do it this way. Let's go to the form of the certificate of resolution that we're going to actually vote on. And there is a 2-page document that's called Resolution Commissioners Court of Newton County authorizing payment to release bond obligations through general release agreement approving release. Y'all know that kind of, okay, that's the document. Okay. I'm just going to read that today. It really covers the whole waterfront and gives you a good idea of what it is that we're signing off on. This is whereas the Newton County Public Facility Corporation is a public facility corporation creating and existing under the Act pursuant to a resolution adopted by the Commissioners Court of Newton County on November 28, 2001, when we created the PSC. Whereas in order to refinance projects that consist of the acquisition of a public facility located on certain properties in the Newton, Texas, Newton County, Texas, the corporation to be authorized to issue bonds in the aggregate principal amount of $14,300,000 designated as Newton County Public Facility Corporation Revenue Bond, Series 2002. The corporation issued the bonds pursuant to that certain indenture dated February 1, 2002, between the corporation and the issuer, U.S. Bank. Whereas bonds are payable from and secured by a pledge of the corporation's right title interest into a lease agreement dated February 1, 2002, the corporation as lessor county of lessee, whereby the county leased project from the corporation. Whereas the bonds are further secured by a deed of trust and security agreement dated February 1, 2002, given by the corporation, where the corporation is granted the time to pay the project for the benefit of U.S. Bank on behalf of the registered owner of the bond. Whereas in exchange for the payment from the county to U.S. Bank of $100,000 in lieu of the principal amount outstanding on the bond, the holders of the bond will agree to, 1, release the corporation from its obligation to rise out of in any way related to the bond, as if said bond was paid in full. The indenture, the lease, the deed trust, and any and all other documents executed by the parties in connection with transactions evidenced by bond, the indenture, the lease, the deed of trust, and 2, to release the project from the lien evidenced by deed of trust. Whereas pursuant to the bondholder's release, the corporation, the county, and the U.S. Bank will enter into certain general lease agreement pursuant to which each party will release each other party as applicable from said other obligations arising out of or in any way related to bond, the indenture, release, the deed of trust, any bonds and documents executed by the parties in connection with the transaction evidenced by the bond, the indenture, release, and deed of trust. Whereas pursuant to the bondholder release, U.S. Bank will execute that certain release of the trust and security agreement, which will release the product from lien evidence by the deed of trust, whereas copies of the described instruments have been made available to each member of Commissioners Court, presented for its consideration at this meeting, and the material provision of such documents has been described in Commissioners Court and fully discussed at this meeting. Whereas the corporation has heretofore met in due call meeting, approved the general release agreement and the release of deed of trust and security agreement, and presented its authorizing resolution to Commissioners Court for consideration and approval. Whereas this meeting is open to the public as required by law. Notice of the time, place, and purpose of this meeting were given as required by Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Now therefore be it resolved by the Commissioners Court of Newton County, Texas, resolved that all the facts cited in the preamble hereto are found to be declared to be true and correct. The preamble is incorporated into this part of this resolution. Resolved that the resolution of the corporation attached hereto to Exhibit A has been adopted by the corporation. Adoption of the corporate resolution by the corporation is hereby approved and recorded. Resolved that the bondholder release may be reasonably expected to benefit directly or indirectly the county and its best interest, and is in the best interest of the county. Resolved that the Commissioners Court hereby authorizes the release payment. Resolved that the Commissioners Court hereby approves the terms of the general release agreement in substantially form substantially to the presented by the Commissioner Court with such changes therein as shall be approved by the officers executing the payment. Their execution thereof being conclusive evidence of such approval. Resolved that the Commissioners Court hereby resolve the release of the deed of trust and security agreement with substantially to the effect presented to the Commissioners Court. Resolved that the county judge authorized to execute and deliver the general agreement and any all certificates and other instruments described herein, and consent to the corporation to execute and delivery of the general release agreement. Resolved that the county judge is authorized to take all actions, including but not limited to the execution and delivery of such additional documents and instruments and such as the officer deems necessary to carry out and consummate the transaction described and or contemplated by the approved thereby, or otherwise to give effect to the actions authorized thereby, and that thereof, including but not limited to the execution and delivery of any certificates and representations. That resolved that all actions not in consistent with this resolution here taken by Commissioner Court of the agency to negotiate to carry out the form of the release agreement, the release of the security agreement, all of the documents which relate thereto, or to otherwise carry out the purposes and intents of this resolution shall be, and the same ratified, approved, and confirmed in all respects. Resolved that any section, paragraph, or provision of this resolution shall be held to be invalid or enforcement of the ability or enforceability of such action, section, paragraph, clause, or provision shall not be the main provision of this resolution. The resolution shall take effect immediately from its adoption. And attached to that would be the PFC resolution, the copy of the release we have in front of you, and the copy of the deed of trust release. Apologize for reading through that, but I did think he should cover the waterfront. The end result of that, Judge, is that if the Commissioners Court so chooses to adopt this certificate of resolution, it will authorize primarily the payment of the $100,000 sum when and if the bondholder approval is received and the approval is received by the Minnesota Court, which should be sometime in the next 60 days. And will result in the county taking possession and title to the detention facility free and clear of all liens in the category where it's conditioned. The resolution authorizes you, Judge, to sign the release when it's finalized and to authorize the release of the same. So, we've had a lot of discussion about it, listening to that's where we are.
So it's a court's decision, and, so do I hear a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Okay, the motion been made by Mr. Polk and second by Mr. White that we accept the certificate of resolution. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor? How about you, Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Okay, it'll be 5-0. So we'll move on to item number 3.
Okay, item number 3, is discuss, consider, and take action to accept the ownership facility by the Tulsa Corporation Secure Insurance Secure Possession Facility. That one's on the agenda, obviously, to give the court the opportunity to look prospectively to the fact that you are going to be receiving capital of this property, and the board would be well advised to at least start thinking about
Go ahead.
start thinking about, ensuring at least, for liability purposes, that facility and just see what, in my, there's a lot to be done yet to get the transaction closed, but I'm pretty bullish that with court's approval today, and assuming that the board this afternoon, ratifies this action, that, we'll get to the point pretty quick that the bondholders will go away, trustee will go away, property will be ours to go with, and, then we'll figure out what we're gonna do with it.
Yeah. Well, that'll be left up to the court then, once we receive that in hand. So, do I hear that in some motion?
I make that motion.
Okay, motion been made by Mr. Thompson, second by Mr. Gary Palmby, that, we accept the ownership of facility of the Public Facility Corporation, secured insurance and secure possession of the detention facility. So is any more discussion? Not all in favor? How about you, Mr. Palmby?
Yes.
That passed 5-0. So is any other action we took, Mr. Hurd?
Not the commissioners.
Then I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So, second.
Motion made by Mr. Porter and second by Mr. White that, this meeting is adjourned, and it is 20 minutes after 11. All in favor? 5. 10. I'm sorry.